All right, so I am filming this with the GoPro. All right, so the audio is going to be through the GoPro, not through a DAW. But this is 8x14 Ludwig Supralite steel shell snare drum. It is absolutely bone stock right now. The only thing, I've got two little gels on it, and I threw some lug locks on it for just while testing it in the stock configuration. But I'm getting ready to change it up. But okay, so there it is. So what am I doing? Die cast hoops going on, top and bottom. These are Tama Hold Tight washers. All right, 20 of them. Those are going to go on. 30 strand pure sound snares. Okay. I went with the 30s instead of 20s because it's 8 inches deep. If it were 6.5 or a 5-inch snare, I'd have gone with the 20 strands instead. All right, and some new heads, because the ones that are on it came with it are only branded Ludwig, so I assume they're some made in who knows where heads. But Ambassador hazy snare side and a P77 Coated for the batter side. All right, so that's what I'm getting ready to do to it. To make that happen, I have my two handy dandy Tama drum keys, right, with the little twisty knob on them, right? So make this really easy, and I'll come back after it's done. So I've run into my first snafu. Thank you, Ludwig, for doing this. The washers don't come off. So I'll have to go in and cut all the washers off of 20 tension rods so I can put my hold tight washers on them. Because I don't want this, because then it defeats the purpose, right? Because it won't hold tight with a double washer. So here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Ludwig. All right. Problem resolved in about 2 minutes, because I used my 10 snips to get those off. I didn't use a grinder because I don't want to grind into the tension rod if I go too deep, right? So 10 snips, 2 cuts on each washer, and they're gone. Right? And going to die cast, even more so than with a triple flange hoop, you're going to make sure that you're centered in the hole, right? Because the hole's bigger than the tension rod on the hoop. All right. So you just want to make sure everything's nice and centered, or else you get weird angles, especially going into tube lugs like this has, right? And there are little brass inserts on these tube lugs, but I don't think they're replaceable. Right? You'd have to replace the whole lug, not just the insert. So be conscious before you start actually tuning it above finger tight that you're centered on the hole on the hoop and you're going straight into the lug itself, right? So you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to anything in the cross thread, weird angles, any shenanigans like that, or bring you issues down the road that you don't want to deal with. All right, so we'll finish putting this together and talk to you. Just the way I do it, especially on a Remo, less so for at least for an aquarium, but on a Remo and Evans, right? So I got a finger tight, and when I talk finger tight, I don't just mean here. I mean by taking these knobs on the top of the keys and I turn them as far as I can with my fingers without going here, right? But just on the top. Just come in here, put some weight on it. There we go. break that loose. You hear the glue cracking. All right, probably move the stand a little bit, but then I'll go on from there. I'll do that again once I get it brought up to a medium tension, and then go through and tune the batter head. So I went ahead and cracked the glue 2 more times, like once in the middle, one towards the end. At the end, and it brings the pitch right back down to where kind of where I want it. Remember, on a die-cast Hoop 2, if I tighten this rod, it's going to affect the one across it. It's going to affect everything, right? So, be careful when you're tuning up a die-cast Hoop, because it tunes up really fast. And tuning at one point is going to affect more area, just by the nature of the beast, right? And I tune all my snares pretty high, because I try to keep them out of the frequency range of my toms. Right. This will come down a little bit in pitch as the head breaks in. Like I said, I've cracked it 3 times, right? Manually stretch it 3 times, right? But it'll still come down a little bit in pitch as we go along. So now I'm going to get ready to flip it over, take the snares off, and take care of all the snare side business. All right. So I got both heads on. Initial tuning. All right. Snares are on, pretty well centered. Already sounds better. Throw snares on. Loosen the snares a little bit. Alright. Sound pretty decent. I like it. I don't use drum dots. I use these little bad boys I got on Amazon, like 100 of them for like $10. They're cleaner, they last longer. There's one. It usually takes 2 of them to take this ring away. So I put one at like 11 o'clock and the other one at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. There's a little bit of ring there. Not much. Bring the pitch down just a little bit, but overall that's the gist of it. And 10. A bit looser. There it is. Might need to loosen up the snares a little bit more. Play with the string, right? The snare cable, just to make sure I got everything nice and organized. Slight ring that I don't like, but. There it is, and that's just over the GoPro speaker, right? But again, Ludwig Supralite 8x14, Ambassador snare side, Power Stroke 77 Coated on top, Drum Factory direct hoops, Pure Sound 30 strand snares, and Tama Hold Tight washers. All right, so I did have to cut the washers off with 10 snips off of the Ludwig tension rods because they have washers that don't just slide off. But yeah, I'm gonna put this on my kit and play with it for a while and see if it becomes part of the family. Right, it's $200 drum, yep, and I just put $140 hoops on it. from Drum Factory Direct. You know, $30 snares and two new heads, right? But the stock heads are absolutely not good, right? So there it is. I'll do some recordings. I'll get it mic'd up, EQ'd up, put in the DAW and everything, and see how it sounds in the mix. You know, over the next week or so. Looks great. Great looking drum. So, all right. Hope you enjoy it. And actually, I turned this back on real quick because I got rid of that honk. There's two snares loose, so after a little bit more snare adjustment, got rid of that honk. Right? There's still a little bit of it, I guess. But could be where it's sitting in the room too, so I'll continue to play with it.